The envelope sat on my desk like a coiled snake. Divorce papers. After 15 years of marriage, my wife Jessica handed me divorce papers with the kind of smile people wear when they think they've already won. It wasn't nervous, it wasn't sad, it was confident, polished, practiced. The smile of someone who believed the hard part was already over. What she didn't know was that I'd been 3 steps ahead for months, quietly watching, documenting, and preparing. And what happened next didn't just end our marriage, it shattered the entire illusion she'd built her new life on. My name is Christopher Hayes. I'm 43 years old, and I built Hayes Technologies from nothing into a company worth just over $80 million. I started in my garage with $5,000 borrowed from my father and a folding table that doubled as my desk. Today, we employ 300 people across 4 states. I design security software for Fortune 500 companies, systems that protect banking data, government infrastructure, medical networks. My clients pay premium prices because precision is everything in my world. Details matter, patterns matter, and that same attention to detail was about to become very important in ways Jessica couldn't imagine. I met Jessica Thornton 16 years ago at a charity fundraiser. She was 26, working as an event coordinator for a nonprofit. She had auburn hair, bright blue eyes, and a laugh that made people lean in instead of pulling away. She wore a green dress that night, and when she joked about computer programmers being socially awkward geniuses, I thought I'd finally found someone who could see both sides of me. We talked for hours, exchanged numbers. By the end of the night, I was convinced I'd just met the woman I'd build my future with. Our wedding was small but elegant, a vineyard in Napa Valley, close friends, family, nothing excessive. When Jessica walked down the aisle, I remember thinking I'd never seen anything so perfect. We honeymooned in Greece, spent 2 weeks wandering ancient ruins, drinking wine by the sea, talking about the life we'd build together. She wanted to start her own event planning business. I wanted to support her. At the time, it felt like partnership, like love. For years, everything looked perfect from the outside. We lived in a custom-built home in Meadowbrook Heights, 6 bedrooms, an infinity pool, mountain views that never got old. Jessica's business catered to high-end weddings and corporate events. We traveled to Europe twice a year, owned a beach house in Maui, hosted dinner parties people talked about for weeks. We were the couple people envied, the kind that made others wonder how they'd done it all so smoothly. But about 18 months ago, something shifted. Not all at once, quietly, subtly. Jessica started working later, taking calls in other rooms, smiling at her phone in a way that made my stomach tighten. When I asked about it, she had answers ready, always reasonable, always just believable enough that questioning them made me feel paranoid. New workout classes, expensive athletic wear she never wore around me, weekend conferences that multiplied, meditation retreats, organic cooking phases. Each excuse made sense alone. Together, they formed a pattern I couldn't ignore. The real evidence came from my own systems. Ironically, I designed security software to catch breaches most people never see. Digital footprints, metadata, behavioral anomalies. Jessica's credit card statements told a story she wasn't telling me. Expensive lunches at unfamiliar restaurants, hotel bookings in our own city. And then there was the GPS data on her car, a tracking system I'd installed years earlier for safety. An address in the Arts District, a downtown coffee shop at odd hours, locations that didn't match her calendar. Her phone behavior changed completely. It used to lie forgotten on counters. Now it never left her hand. Face down, new password, bathroom trips during dinner, jumping whenever a notification buzzed. I didn't confront her. There was no point. If someone wants to leave, they'll leave. And honestly, part of me wanted to see how far she'd take it. The morning she handed me those divorce papers, I felt something close to relief. Not happiness, relief. The pretending was finally over. It was a Tuesday in October. She stood in the doorway of my home office, holding the envelope like it might explode. "Christopher, we need to talk." Her voice had that rehearsed tone. I saved my work and turned toward her. Yoga clothes, perfect ponytail, that glow people get when they think they're stepping into a better life. "I want a divorce," she said, placing the envelope next to my coffee mug.
sticky notes marked where I needed to sign. She'd planned this. I opened it, looked, reached for a pen, signed. "Is that it?" she asked, confusion creeping into her voice. "Should I?" I asked calmly. She waited for me to break, beg, plead. I didn't. She finally told me about Tyler, an artist, authentic, simple, someone who didn't care about money. I nodded. Then I told her what I knew, where he lived, his debts, his repossessed car, the color drained from her face. "You invaded my privacy," she snapped. "I noticed patterns," I corrected. She accused me of control. I showed her spreadsheets, $180,000 transferred into her failing business over 3 years. She hadn't known. She'd never checked. That hurt more than the betrayal, the ignorance, the entitlement. She left, claiming independence, told me she'd keep the beach house. I smiled and told her we'd let the lawyers decide.
Then I made a phone call. By the next morning, her credit cards were canceled, locks changed, joint accounts adjusted, her business credit line frozen, her mother's medical coverage terminated, every move documented, time-stamped, legal. Her phone exploded, voicemails, texts, panic replaced confidence, grocery cards declined, car access disabled, police escorting her away from the house, payroll missed, employees quitting. And Tyler? Posting latte photos, living his authentic life. By day 4, Tyler showed his true colors. When Jessica needed money, he suggested she ask me. When that failed, he got uncomfortable, claimed he couldn't help, suggested reconciliation. The soulmate vanished the moment she stopped being useful. Day 5, she showed up at my office. Unwashed hair, smudged makeup, exhausted, begging, apologizing, asking for counseling. I showed her screenshots, other women, same lines, same pattern. She collapsed into sobs. I offered her a deal, $50,000, her mother's medication restored, no house, no assets, no contact. Take it or fight me in court while everything burns. She signed. 3 days later, she left town. Her mother's medication was restored immediately. I never intended cruelty. I intended clarity. 6 months later, my company grew 40%. New contracts, new states, no distractions, no lies. I ran into a mutual friend who told me Jessica was struggling, lonely, regretful. She didn't lose anything. She threw it away. Looking back, those divorce papers were a gift. They freed me from carrying someone who had already checked out. She wanted independence. I gave it to her, fully, completely. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction. It's letting someone experience life without the safety net they took for granted. My name is Christopher Hayes, and this was my revenge story. If this story hit you, if it reminded you of betrayal, resilience, or the quiet power of walking away, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories where karma doesn't rush, but it always arrives.